A sister has asked a question. Can a Muslim woman divorce herself? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. A sister has sent a question if a Muslim woman can divorce herself. Yes, she can divorce herself. That is called a Khula. The way it works, like on a husband's side, he has to give a divorce even it's a 1 time or 3 time. If he divorced like a 3 time, that's considered as a 1, and then she has to wait for Iddah, and there's a time frame, and then he has to decide either he can take her back, or he can divorce her for the 2nd time. And then if he decide to take her back and that divorce still exists there, and he can simply tell her that I can take you by, or you can have an intimation a relationship that cancels the divorce. But the one that he has already been divorced, his wife, it has already been counted as a 1. So later on, if he divorces again, that's considered as a 2nd divorce, and then he has to wait for Iddah. Either for the 2nd time, even he divorced like 1 time in an anger, or 3 times or 10 times, that's still considered as a 1. So 1 he has already uttered a 1 time, and so this was the 2nd time. So on, then he has no more options, and either he can, after the 2nd divorce, either he has to take her back during the time frame, or he can utter a 3rd time divorce, and that cancels that makes the end of the contract, dissolve the marriage. So she is no more halal for him, and then when she has to come back, she has to make another marriage, which is naturally done, and then she has to come back to marry the same husband. But the marriage she has to do that should be natural, and not with an intention to go back to the previous husband. So that is haram. That's called halala, and halala doesn't even exist. Even the Prophet ﷺ said, "Lanatullah on the people who are doing halala, and those people are in the middle, and those are agents in the middle." So this all considered as a halala, and this doesn't even, there's no concept of halala in Islam. So basically, you marry 1 time. Now this is an option for a man. Now on the sister's side, if she wants to get a divorce, now this is something a very understanding. If she is looking to free herself, but do understand something, any baseless accusations against your husband, that type of khula is totally haram. And if she has a niyyah of to remarriage for some other reasons, and she has an intentions, that khula is not being accepted by Allah. That is haram, and that falls in a zina, because she has an intentions to separate from husband on a minor issues, on a baseless issues of useless accusations, and on a minor issues that can be settled easily. And if she makes big accusations, and she makes a claim on her husband that she needs to be separated, and she wants to do the khula, she has an option to do that. But in the eyes of Allah, that is forbidden, and that is not being excused by Allah, because Allah knows that this woman has an intention of something, and she's making up a big deal on a minor issues that can be settled. You can have a mediator in the middle that can talk to the husband, and that can talk to the wife. As I'm being receiving like too many khula applications, and the divorce applications, and mediation applications, and alhamdulillah, I was able to resolve like hundreds of cases, not just like in New York, but I have been able to resolve hundreds of cases worldwide, putting a love into a brother, putting a love into a sister, get settled and reconcile. On the minor issues, the sister is not allowed to file a khula. But if she has no issues, and if she is making a minor little things, like for example, if a husband said something to a sister on a little anger, like for a little tempered or something, but she has to have a patience a little bit and get along with the husband. If she really loves the husband, if she really respects the husband, so get along with the husband. If on a minor issue, this is not allowed to file a khula application, and it is not allowed for a sister, because she's going to be she is sinning in the eyes of Allah, because there is a minor issue. She can be resolved on a minor issue. Like for example, if she make a mistake and the husband gets mad on her, and he gets a little angry on her and said something, so the right away the sister contact the Sharia council or the local mufti, and she asked the khula, okay, I want to get free, because basically this kind of a problem, they have to understand how to live with the husband. And this is really a responsibility of mothers to teach their daughters to have a patience with the husband, not just like getting frustrated on a minor issues. And if he said something, you have to have patience, and you have to have a sabr, because Allah says, Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin, Allah is with the person who has a sabr, and they're going to enter a Jannah without any accounting. So they have to have a sabr. And the way the khula application works, she has to file a khula application with the local Sharia council. And the way it works, like the Sharia council has to contact the husband and to verify many things, like to have an interview with the husband and to know what's going on. And the Sharia council also know the background of the history of the marriage, or the man's side and the woman's side. And he has to investigate many things, and he has to send a notice to a husband that the woman wants the separation from you, and the husband responds back. And then we try to get mediate with the husband and wife, trying to settle if they are able to settle, or they are not totally like an east or west, if they have like a minor issues, and the Sharia council is able to get along with the husband and the wife, try to settle them, trying to build a love and respecting them, trying to build a harmony in their house, rather than breaking up the family. And if the husband does not respond and does not cooperate, or he would say, okay, I don't care, and then he would not respond back to the Sharia council. And then the Sharia council has to send the second notice of khula and trying to get in hold of the husband. Also, the Sharia council has to know if he is the real husband by getting into the background, getting into history, because there might be some sister who's trying to get a khula certificate and the divorce certificate from the Sharia council based on all false information. So the Sharia council has to get all this information and try to contact the husband, try to intermediate, and trying to help them, husband and wife, get along. So if the husband does not get in touch with the Sharia council, so that would be the final. And for the third time, she would be able to get a free, because she's going to get a certificate from the Sharia council. She is free to marry, or she is free whatever she can do. And that has to be all on something which is like solid proof, and there is a really a serious matter. For example, the husband is physical abusive and verbal abusive, and he has a mental case. He is not unable to sustain the family, or other issue. It could be a sexual problem. It could be she is unable to fulfill her desires through the sex, and it could be any reason. She has 100% right to file the khula for any serious reason, not on something like minor issues. And then I'm going to come to the those sisters who are filing a non-Islamic countries. Let's say they file a divorce in a civil court, which is like a non-Islamic country. If they file the petition in the civil court, that is not considered as a divorce or talaq in the eyes of Sharia. It is not divorce. in the Sharia way, because you marry, it's very strange. Everybody marry in Islamic way and everything. When it comes to divorce, when it comes to filing a khula petition, they just go to the civil court. They don't understand, why don't you just like go get married in the civil court then? First of all, the marriage that is done in the civil court in a non-Islamic country, that is not considered as a halal marriage, because that marriage is according to un-Islamic, against the Prophet ﷺ, against Allah. That is totally forbidden. The court marriage is prohibited, and this is not allowed. That is not halal relationship. And similarly, filing a divorce certificate, filing for a divorce petition in the civil court, that is not considered as a Muslim, that is not considered as a khula, that is not considered as a divorce, and the relationship is still there, is still exists, because you married according to the Sharia. You married on the basis of a Quran, and you married according to the Sharia. And when it comes to the khula and when it comes to the divorce, you are filing a petition into the civil court, which is prohibited, and it's not even accepted in the Sharia. It has to be followed the real Sharia way. So the sisters or the brothers, they have to go follow the Sharia council, and those brothers and sisters who are living in non-Islamic countries, I would say they are better than the Islamic countries, because in the Islamic countries, the court proceedings are slow being backed up, that the sisters' life are being destroyed. For an example, like especially country like in India. And especially in India, the sister's life has been destroyed, stuck up with some like mental case person, and similarly with the man, and similarly with the sisters. And the second is Pakistan, and the third is Bangladesh, and I'm sure there's many countries, but these are the specific 3 countries. And also I'm going to mention about the Arab countries. In an Islamic country, the system is so being backed up that the sisters are being stuck in that particular case, and she is unable to get relief, and having a stress, and there's so much stress that they become like a mentally patient, unable to get out. So un-Islamic Sharia councils are better than the Muslim countries, because in non-Islamic Sharia council, they really declared it to give them a freedom, whatever they're looking for, but based on an evidence, but based on investigation. This is not something like somebody come for a divorce certificate and somebody gonna get a payment and they do that. And also similarly with sisters, the Sharia councils, I'm sure there are many Sharia councils who take a money, who give the certificate. That is haram. That is nobody even exists, because the sisters who are really in a rush trying to get a sort of khula certificate, there are many people, astaghfirullah, they take the money, they give the certificate, but it has to be according to the proceedings according to the Sharia. This is not allowed, this is forbidden, and it is haram. And this is really suggested. I'm going to advise those ulamas, those muftis, those Sharia councils, please do not do that. Because of your action, you are destroying somebody's life, you're destroying a family, but you haven't done your investigation, you haven't properly proceed with the completely case, trying to get more into it and trying to settle with the husband and the wife. So definitely a sister can get a khula certificate and she get a freedom, but she has to follow the proceedings. But filing a divorce certificate and civil court, that is prohibited, and that is not accepted, and that is not according to the Sharia.